Self-voicing enabled. Start. You've just been called into the inspector's office to sleuth a new case. You and the inspector have never seen eye to eye, but today feels different. The inspector. The inspector, oh. I didn't see you there. The inspector, you're right on time to begin our next investigation. The inspector, the case we're investigating is none other than a murder. You, yikes. Where'd it happen? The inspector, well, my unobservant friend, take a look behind me. You, oh, there's some blood. You, I feel like kind of a dope for not seeing that before. The inspector, as you should, my dear companion. You disappoint me yet again, as usual. Heh. The inspector looks to the ground and begins to follow the bloody trail. You follow suit, feeling exceedingly stupid. The inspector, it's just as I thought. The trail leads deeper in. The inspector, come, let us follow the blood upstairs. The inspector rushes ahead, but you stay back for a bit to think. Why would there be a murder in your own home? The inspector, no time to think about that now. There's a murderer on the loose. You, but, don't you think this is a little suspicious? The inspector, not at all, my simple-minded pal. Think of it this way. The inspector, if you were enemies with a world-class inspector such as myself, wouldn't you want to frame him for a heinous crime? You, well, when you put it that way, I suppose. The inspector, see, now you're thinking right? Let's keep moving, old chum. The pair of detectives continue their search. The inspector, the blood here looks more fresh, we must be hot on his tail now. You stop to think for a moment. You've never been this far into the inspector's home. This is getting pretty serious, you say to yourself. Maybe you should ask him another question. You're acting awfully gung-ho about this. The inspector, let me ask you this. The inspector, when have I ever not been excited by the thrill of the search? The inspector, it's in my nature to investigate. I wouldn't be much of an inspector if it wasn't. The inspector, you'd best keep off back, comrade. Wouldn't want to lose a good partner to infighting. You. The inspector deems that interaction time has concluded and sleuthing time has resumed. You once again follow suit. The inspector, gadzooks. The floor is practically painted with blood in here. The inspector, I reckon the killer is right through that door over there. The inspector, well, what are we waiting for? Let's bring this crook to justice. You. What will you ask the inspector? Something doesn't feel right about this. The inspector, you're very on edge, partner. The inspector, if there's something on your mind, I'd be happy to hear it. You. The inspector, what's the problem? Ghost dog got your tongue? The inspector, that's fine. Just follow me. We're... You. You, I think. The inspector is the murderer. The pair slowly enter the room, revealing. The inspector, well, here we are. You, inspector. The inspector, you're a very smart detective. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you suspected me from the start. You, I knew it. You're the murderer. The inspector, right-o. And now it's time to snuff you out. The inspector, you see, you're only a novice inspector now, but you've got potential. The inspector, It's been fun having you as my apprentice, but I fear you may surpass me in your sleuthing skills. The inspector, I have to do this to save my career. It's nothing personal, really. You'll never get away with this. The inspector, oh, but I will. The inspector, this is all part of my plan. I assassinate you, and tell the officials that you were the victim all along. The inspector, as fate would have it, you helped me solve the case of your own murder. How ironic. I had no idea you were this evil. The truth will come out. You won't be safe forever, mark my words. The inspector, yeah, can we move this along? I've got places to be after this. Everything went dark. The inspector was bad the whole time. Wait, but that's not what really happened. That's completely absurd. Let's try that again.